Holy, where's Brucey, Batman? Tiki here, and I have been watching through each and every episode of Batman Beyond for the first time. Dragon, tell them why we're here.
Well, you see, folks, long ago, I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham in a way, but that was the past, and we must now enter the Batman's future.
That's right, and tonight we're talking Season 3, Episode 3. Dragon, I believe it's called Inqueling, but correct me if I'm wrong about that. Is that the pronunciation? Inqueling?
Yeah, I've always been saying it wrong, but that's the thing. It should be. I think you're right. I think it is Inkling, but like growing up, I always thought it was like Inkwelling.
Right. Yeah, it's like I kind of read it as like it's like a pun on the term inkling.
Yeah, because here's the thing: the way they spell ink in the show is with the Q, so that's ink and then ling. So yes, Inkling, but it's always that's the thing. Like last episode, the way you said is pretty much how I've been saying it all my life, which is why I didn't stop you. Like, because I never honestly took a step back and realized until this episode, like, oh yeah, it is just Inkling because it's the offspring of ink. That makes so much more sense than I've been saying for years.
All right, let's see. Kogias is in the chat. Bruce, Ink is a shameless ripoff of Clayface. You could be Terry.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing that. I didn't click on that. Okay, now I got it. Who?
Clayface is someone I fought about 50 years ago.
You're so old.
You're so not worth being Batman.
God.
Right. Okay, Dana connecting the dots. Does that mean Polka Dot Man shows up? Oh, if only. If only.
Yeah, I mean, Desmalchin's making his rounds, though.
Desmalchin? Yeah, he's having a moment. He's having a moment.
He was just on the Rookie yesterday.
Then he also says, does that mean Tiki didn't grow up watching any Batman cartoons? Yes, Kogias, if you haven't picked up on that yet in our Batcave stuff, yeah. We've gone through every installment of Batman the Animated Series. I have watched very few, if any of them. And so, yeah, we're going through everything. All of Batman the Animated Series, which we've obviously already done. All of Batman Beyond. And Dragon, I quiver with fear every night at what you might possibly do for Phase 3.
Well, T, we're in Phase 3.
Oh, yeah, right, because Justice League was technically Phase 3. Well, Phase 4, then. Dragon, I fear your madness in Phase 4. Right, anyways.
Do you see a hat? Do you see Kevin Feige here? Do you see a hat?
Okay, let's see. I knew you didn't grow up with Batman Beyond, but I assumed that you had seen Batman the Animated Series. No, not until the podcast, Kogias. Not until the podcast.
He's vigilante embarrassed, my friends. He is he's yeah.
All right.
Yep.
But Dragon, yeah, this episode, I definitely think it's a solid step up from the last two that we got. It's definitely the best episode of Season 3 so far. Doesn't quite match the heights that we were getting at the end of Season 2, but, at this point, I'm trying not to compare. I do think that this is by far the best Ink episode. I really thought that the dynamic with her daughter was really interesting. I really liked that character as, like, almost a one-off kind of morality play of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we don't get any Bruce Wayne this episode, which isn't great, but we do get a nice little development on the Dana side of things, and Max is back. So, yeah, all around, a really good episode. Maybe not the most memorable, except for, obviously, the image that we have before us, I assume, was the source of many kids' WB viewers' childhood trauma. But, yeah, it's a solid probably round, like, 7, 8 out of 10. Not a masterpiece, but I enjoyed it quite a lot.
Honestly, I thought you were going to hate this episode.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think it's the best of Season 3, if anything.
So I thought you were going to do the
Gotten.
Even if not that, I thought you were going to like do the usual, just sort of like not usual, but just like the thing you do where it's like, it's mediocre, where it's like,
There is one element to this episode that is on the mediocre side, Dragon, and that's honestly all the corporate espionage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
which we'll get into. The corporate espionage stuff generally is pretty boring to me. But all the stuff with Inque and her daughter, that stuff is really interesting. And then all the stuff with Max and Terry and Dana, also very good. So, 2/3 of this episode I think are really good. And then the 1/3 is just kind of like generic Batman Beyond corporate espionage antics.
Okay. All right, so a little background on this. So the director was Butch Lukic, who did episodes like Golem and Final Cut. The writer on this, just to kind of show you, they were kind of they kind of had some history together. Hilary J. Bader, she wrote this. Who in the end she also worked on. She did the writing on Golem and Final Cut.
Well, there you go.
Just wanted to highlight the little connection there. Obviously, Bader's written a number of episodes. Butch Lukic directed a whole bunch of stuff. The studio that worked. Butch Lukic, by the way, now these days. I mean, now that they've closed the book on it because of what James Gunn's doing. But before that, he's right now. There's 2 more parts that come out. One this month. The last part, I guess, soon after. All the Tomorrowverse stuff, like the DC, the kind of the better DC continuity,
right.
The original animated stuff they've been doing, which they tied together a lot better, and they're bringing to a close with the big Crisis 3-parter. So yeah, Butch Lukic, he was the Kevin Feige for that. He was the guy kind of like leading the charge on how all that connects. But yeah, so good things for Butch Lukic. Love that guy. Anyway, studio worked on this. Tiki, I hope you're sitting. Okay. A long journey.
Dragon, I've got water in my mouth ready for a spit take.
All right, Tiki, you're never gonna believe this. The studio that worked on this episode was Coco and Ludwig Yang.
Spish! I just spat all over my laptop, and now my laptop's destroyed. Thanks, Dragon.
Well, I did warn you. It was
you did. Right.
Apologies for Tiki's outburst, folks.
Dragon, I just don't know how to react to the Don Yang Coco thing anymore. I'm trying to make it entertaining.
Okay. So, there's not a lot of real juicy background on this. All I can really tell you is this is the last of the Bruce Wayne-less episodes.
Nice.
In total, impressively, really, in the entirety of the Batman stuff. I mean, I forget if there was just one. There might be one exception to this if you count. I forget if in Girls' Night, which technically. No, yeah, Girls' Night was in the new Batman Adventure. See, they crossed over a couple times to Superman. I just want to make sure I have the right show on that. I forget if Batman has a cameo in that episode, because if he doesn't, then that's like the only other episode where we really don't have like Kevin Conroy at all in the episode. Besides that, really in Batman Beyond, it's only 5 episodes, which is pretty impressive. Like he's in all those episodes with the exception of 5, and really in the entirety of all of the Batman sector of the DCAU, that's 5 to 6 episodes. Period. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Anyway, so those episodes were Hidden Agenda. It was the first time we did it. Zeta, Armory, Final Cut, and now this.
All right.
In addition to last in this final season, this is the last big Inque episode. Inque's gonna make one brief little appearance, which we'll get to in something, but this is the last like full-on Inque episode. Again, each of the kind of landmark Batman Beyond villains, essentially, they get 3 episodes each, and this is her 3rd. The end of her contract, one could say. We have some fun guest stars here. Again, the voice of Inque coming back, Shannon Kenny. Shannon Kenny, wife of someone we really like. Do you remember who?
Ryan Reynolds?
What?
I'm kidding. I'm assuming it's Tom Kenny.
No. That's
it's not Talley. Tom Kenny.
No, okay. Jill Talley is married to Tom Kenny.
Oh, my bad. Okay, I just did that. I should have. It was too easy. No, I don't remember who then.
Nestor Carbonell.
Oh, that's right. Of course. Yeah. You know what? With all due respect to Tom Kenny, voice acting legend, Nestor Carbonell was cooler. Maybe not better, but at least cooler than Tom Kenny.
Yeah, he is pretty cool. Nestor Carbonell can just walk into a room and not even like announce his presence. You just walk into a room and wall. And he'd do the cool guy thing too. He like not only lean on a wall, he'd lean on the wall and he'd have like the foot up, so like the foot's on the wall.
Oh
That's
my
Nestor
god, yes,
Carbonell.
yes. Kogias, Nestor Carbonell, he played Richard Albert in Lost. He played the mayor in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. And he played, most importantly, Sheriff Alex Romero in Bates Motel, one of Dragon and our favorite shows.
Now, two things we should list off, because I'm sure Kogias will have more familiarity with these, aside from The Dark Knight, obviously. Big thing, Senor Senior Jr. from Kim Possible, who was hilarious. That was Nestor Carbonell.
Oh, too. There you go. Yeah, for sure.
You've heard like him play.
I've heard him do that. Yeah.
God, it's so funny, isn't it?
It's especially funny when you consider his overall persona.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Is this high pitched voice, and yet they get the image too. He's like this hulking. Anyway, this hulking pretty boy. Anyway, and the other role too being Batman from the Patrick Warburton tick.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Which still you gotta look into that one, man.
I know. I haven't seen every episode. I've seen a handful.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So, also real quick, because again, there's really not a lot. There's no background all really aside from the guest stars. Peter Mark Richmond here. He voices our corporate espionage bad guy. And fun fact: Lauren Lester, the voice of Robin in Nightwing, Lauren Lester's father-in-law.
Really? That's trippy.
Yeah.
It's fucking small world. All right.
And lastly here, their guest star. Our guest star playing Ink's daughter is if I'm going to butcher her name here, Azura Sky, who is from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the reason being most.
She Willow from Buffy.
I never watched that. I never really watched Buffy.
I'm gonna look it up. I like Buffy. I've seen a handful of episodes here and there. I'm not too familiar with it. What's her name?
Azura Sky. It's Sky Skye.
Azura. Okay, hold on. Azura Sky. She played. She had a 2-episode role as Cassie Newton.
That's the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, the point being, Bruce Timm was a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. I think that's ultimately he's probably took notice of it. Maybe I don't know if like he cast her specifically for that, but it's probably like, oh yeah, you were in Buffy, man. I love Buffy. Yeah, let's read her. Let's see how she does. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's get into the episode.
All right, so we start things off with a little bit of corporate espionage, like I said. Some corporate bad guys doing some bad things, and Inque is getting involved.
So, long story short, we're at the Shimono Space Center, doing a big launch for Mr. Winchell. I love that last name because I keep thinking about Paul Winchell. So, Mr. Winchell here, he's about to do a big launch. Inque. Now, remember, Inque is like a corporate saboteur. That's basically her trade. That's why she kind of mutated herself to be the most dangerous agent in the corporate sabotage. So, here's the thing. At least with Inque, it makes sense, Tiki. Like she is all about corporate sabotage.
I mean, you're right. It makes sense with the character, right? That being said, there's still not a lot to hold on to with this guy outside of his memorable last name, I will admit.
I mean, admittedly, when you think about it, again, Inque's appearance, again, her introduction plays really well. Derek Powers, our big corporate guy who we do care a lot about and who are really interested by, hires Inque. That tracks a lot better. At the
end of the day, they just shouldn't have killed off Powers.
Yeah, well, again, they brought him back, but not in the show set.
Yeah, I know they brought him back, but it doesn't count if it's not in the show.
No, you're right. Okay. Anyway, so Inque sabotages the launch of the satellite pretty coolly. You got to admit, like it gets knocked down, it goes off. It's pretty cool. Like the way this rocket ship just goes haywire. Bruce Wayne is now I guess building to this. Terry is in the Batmobile. He's talking to Max. We exposit that Bruce Wayne's out of town visiting one of his mentor friends in Tibet, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of Bruce Wayne visiting his masters over the years.
Sure.
So Terry, he can't take Dana out because he's on thin ice with her already, and she's because Bruce always thinks something bad's going to happen the moment he leaves town. Lo and behold,
yeah, right on cue. There's an explosion, and somehow he's always right.
It's a good line. All right, so Batman he freezes Inque right out the get go, but she's overcome her ice weakness, so that's progress. Like these two have really they've grown in their episodes apart here. Inque's kind of evolved past some of her weaknesses, and Batman's been prepared for this. Like the suit now has like an electrical feature, so when she tries to glom onto him, like the first time they met, he shocks the crap out of her, so she can't do it again.
Yeah. And just in general, just the animation on Inque, I truly think Inque is one of my favorite of the Batman Beyond villains. Like, obviously, she's inspired by Clayface, but I think they do enough creative stuff with her to really. She's not just future Clayface. You know what I mean? I really think she's her own thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, if you look at with a lot of things in Batman Beyond, it's kind of in many senses it's a fusion of kind of Batman lore meets Spider-Man, and in this case, you kind of have like the symbiote
Clayface and Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I have to wonder this, Tiki. I know you don't have this because of how you're experiencing it now, but I wonder if maybe it's deep down the reason Inque was so cool and kept coming back, and even like the concept art for that Batman Beyond animated movie they're trying to do, which again featured Inque. Does make you wonder. Is it just because, like, especially the '90s kids just loving, like, like
just love Venom? That's what it comes down to.
Well, no, sure. I mean, Venom, but I was thinking more specifically, like the '90s generation, like the Goo and the Gak, and like like all like the like the little like all the toys like that.
I mean, you're not far off.
I'm just saying, I wonder if, like, deep down, even with Venom, with the whole symbiote thing, it's all gooey and stuff, and it's just like it's just kind of cool. It's like like Play-Doh, like one could say,
Sure,
it's just something kind of, Anyway, so little fighty fight going on here, really well choreographed action and very well animated. Batman saves the ground crew from the damage. Good move. Good on you, Terry. So Terry, and this is a big character moment for the episode here, as Inque gets away during all this. Terry, he confesses to Max that he wants to handle this without Bruce Wayne, without looping Bruce Wayne in. He wants to do this because he mentioned, we basically call back the other two episodes, which is really cool, kind of payoff with this episode. She was in the Batcave once. Max makes a little joke, once more times than I've been there. And Bruce had to save him and save him against her twice, and the second time it almost got him killed, and he does not want that to happen again. So that's the heart of the episode for Terry, which unfortunately I think at the end of the day we don't really let him beat Inque, so I think we kind of rob him of that, but still
it's a good setup for sure. But I agree that by the end of the episode, especially with Bruce Wayne just not being present, the idea kind of gets lost in the shuffle about by the end of the episode. But it is a good concept.
I mean, I gotta be honest, of all the 5 episodes Bruce Wayne does not appear in, this episode specifically feels like the only one where it feels like, okay, this episode, thematically, we should not have Bruce Wayne in there.
Right, I can agree to that.
And so that's the thing, it just bothers me that by the end, Terry, basically, Inque gets defeated through means outside of, like, Terry accomplishing his goal. That's what that was always the thing that bothered me about the episode, is that, Terry had this really understandable, like, it's like a thing of proving his merit as Batman sort of thing, and we kind of took that away from him.
I have a feeling I'm going to like the daughter character more than you do, but we'll get there.
I don't have anything against her. I'm just saying
that resolution.
Is the fact that it's a good ending, which we'll get to. It's just the fact that, again, even by doing so, we still take away Terry's victory there. That's the problem.
Sure.
It's not against again, I'm not obsessed with how the episode ends, but just that's the one that gets the trade-off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. So, he could use some help digging up information on Shimoto's computers there. Sure, I'll do it for you, but do I get to see the Batcave if I do it?
It's good to have Cree Summers back after a movie and then 2 episodes where she wasn't present.
Yeah, like, you can imagine how ticked off Cree Summers is. Just like, oh, look, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, beloved.
Oh God!
Like, hey,
No, Kree, I will stand by you. That movie would have been even better if your character would have made an appearance.
just everyone saying, "Oh, Kree Summers, we love you in Batman Beyond." How was doing the movie? Like, oh, I actually
Oh
wasn't.
my God! I think totally. She must have gotten that question at a con at least once.
Just someone. Oh, Kree, get out of here! That was like the most awesome Batman news ever. Like, clearly, the only time Batman Beyond's ever going to be on the big, on the theater, get a feature length, and you weren't in that. No, I guess I wasn't. Much as I called Bruce Timm, I wasn't in that. As much as I called Andrea Romano, she ditched my calls.
Oh man. All
okay.
right.
Okay, let's see. So we reveal, we do our corporate espionage thing. We reveal Inc. has been hired by Winchell, basically to self-sabotage and collect the insurance money. Pretty straightforward, you gotta admit. While not exciting, Tiki, it is a pretty straightforward plan.
It's straightforward. Dragon, I'm just getting bored of these corporate villains. All right, that's this guy is like a nothing burger of a corporate villain. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, again, it's like it's interesting how it goes. Like season 1, it's wall to wall corporate bad guy because of Derek Powers. Season 2, it's more of a healthy mix. It's more high school than it is corporate, and then like very occasionally corporate. And we're kind of back to it, but it feels it was like a refreshing change until this point, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Anyway, so basically, Winchell here, Ink's there to collect their payment, basically having the money wired to accounts in the Cayman Islands and stuff. Typical illegal fundage, kind of stuff. Anyway, but this guy, honorless businessman, again, he couldn't stand to split the profits of his big windfall. Instead, he fires the particle destabilizer at Ink 3 times. I love the fact that it's like she's in really bad shape this episode. 3 times she gets hit by this thing.
Right.
So, which means she can barely, if at all, retain her human form. That's the idea. Which I kind of wish later on when she's on the couch, if she looked a little less human-y, but that's just
Yeah, I agree. I do think this episode there is an element of body horror in this episode, especially in the 3rd act. But I feel like we could have gone even stronger with it for sure.
I mean, that's the thing. If you look at kind of like Inque in 3 acts here, again, this act here, when she gets hit by this thing, it's nasty, and there's some body horror stuff there. Oh god, her molecules are destabilizing.
Right.
It's very reminiscent of the episode Mudslide from Batman the Animated Series, where it's the second Clayface appearance where he's all melty and he can barely, he needs the.
That's where all the Akira animation comes from, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of Akira in that, but
Well, I'm just saying, that's where like the really memorable Clayface transformation.
Oh no! Sorry, T. When I said second, I meant like not the count. The 2 part I would count as 1, just for argument's sake.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. That. Sorry. Now I understand what you're saying. That has the Akira animation. Yes, the second part of Feet of Clay is what you're talking about. That's the TMS episode.
Okay, gotcha.
Of course, TMS very much specializes in Akira. But yeah, I meant like Mudslide, the one where he's like all melty after he fakes his death when he comes back.
Sure.
The point being, just the whole idea of like our shapeshifter being very kind of like melty and like on their heels and not doing well. A lot of parallels to that here. Okay. Anyway, so Ink, she visits. We are introduced to Deanna.
Yeah, and I think this is a really fun kind of one-off character. I really do. I really like her. I like her in the fact that she is very unlikable, I guess is the right terminology to use. She is like a fun kind of unlikable.
And we call it out really well by the end, too. It's the fact, well, what do you expect? Yeah. She's just barely able to make her car payment with cred.
Using a series of like 5 or 6 different cards.
Yep, and
here's one of them goes through.
Here's how you know she's unlikable, okay? Because you have that, which is okay. We've all kind of, I guess she's down on her luck, but then she gets cocky with the poor little repo man.
Right.
Poor little repo man. Go find another car, but then there's a really nice gesture that repo guy gives her, a credit counselor, a little.
That is a nice gesture. Yeah, I like that. That very much humanized that guy for me, for sure.
I love the saying on the card, by the way. I love like the motto of the credit counselor. It says, "You spend, we mend."
Oh my god.
It's great. What's those? The fact that like a repo agent like would have this to help people in the long run. Like, yeah, maybe you have a problem, like try seeing someone about it.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, I don't need help. I need more credit. She's a very greedy character. So Deanna, she's struggling to pay her bills as she's like talking on the phone. Inque enters, then with the big reveal. This girl, this random girl we've just met, Inque's daughter. One could say her Inqueling. Tiki, it's her. Look at her. It's her Inqueling right there.
Now I will say, when her scene first started, I was a little thrown off. I was like, "Who the hell is this?" But then, as soon as we revealed it was Ink's daughter, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's an interesting twist. Let's see how this plays out."
I got kind of a Mystique vibe from this kind of this mother daughter thing.
A little bit. I could see that.
Well, mainly in the sense that the whole Mystique Nightcrawler thing.
Right.
There's the fact she's very kind of cold as ice, kind of in her veins sort of thing, world explorer, but maybe like a twinge of regret.
Sure.
All right, so Ink's on the couch, and this is what I'm talking about. This scene here, because it's a thing that we've kind of tracked in the second Inque episode. We had the thing where she was on ice and she needed like the mutagen so she could kind of restabilize herself because she was on ice, and when she's on ice, it kind of damages her a bit. Which I really like that. So the idea, like when she's flirting with the William H. Macy character, she's all not melty, but she can't really form her face.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just saying I like that logic, and here I think the logic, if she's even more like destabilized than she would be on ice, she really wouldn't be able to make her face. But story wise, she has to show, oh yes, I'm your mother. I'm not just an amorphous blob.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like just sort of an animation thing that's tricky, but you kind of just need to do it as a gimme.
I mean, in hindsight, I think the solution would have been she does that at first, but it's like it strains her to do that, and then the rest of the time on the couch, like no face.
Yeah,
that's just me though. Anyway, back to the plot.
I do think the voice actress does do a really good job of conveying the genuine pain that she's going through. So I think that makes up for some of the visual elements.
Yeah, we see she's like sweating and everything, and she's not doing great. We convey that. So let's see. So basically, Inque's on the couch, kind of a therapy hour. But no, Inque's on the couch.
I mean, it is very much kind of a therapy hour because it's basically like the mother and daughter hashing out childhood shit.
Yeah, so that's where we learn the backstory here. So basically, kind of the economized version of it is, Inque, when she was young, before she was mutated, she was young and she was on the run. She had a baby, and basically she put the baby up for adoption and kind of abandoned it. But however, she didn't completely abandon it. She sent all the money from her saboteur jobs to she sent to make sure she's taken care of. She was told it was an inheritance, but really it was like the mother was alive and was stolen money. Inque gets really like defensive here, like stole that stolen money, put a roof over your head, and bought you clothes and food, etc., etc. So and then you let him turn you into a biohazard. For money? Yes, for money. More money than you could ever imagine. That's the Cell line. That's going to come back later.
That's the Cell line, but it's also like very bad mistake to make in front of your obviously very greedy daughter.
I do love Inque's weakness there. I just love the fact that Inque is on her heels and she has to be vulnerable, and that's what gets her in the end. I really do love that. Right?
Sure.
Okay, meanwhile, so as that's kind of set up there, Dana invites Terry to Rhino's, the chili place.
The chili place.
Yeah, you remember.
No, I don't remember Rhino's.
Oh, come on. You remember the Rat Boy episode, remember? That she gets the chili from Rhino's.
Oh, right. Okay,
and you and I joked, like, what if Rhino, the Batman, the animated series villain, opened the chili place?
You mean the Spider-Man?
No, I know there's a Spider-Man villain, Tiki. But remember, we have a Batman thug that worked for Scarface that was named Rhino, big guy.
Okay, this is getting into some deep cut territory, Dragon.
No, I know now you don't. I'm just saying that we had in the That's what we made a joke about that
All right.
guy owning the chili place because it's named Rhinos.
All right.
Don't look at me like that. I know that look. Don't do that.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so Dana invites Terry to get some chili at Rhinos. Is like he initially tries to bow, says, "I'll make time,"
but then just immediately, Maxine shows up, and it's just like, no, that's not going to happen.
The moment, like, oh, I didn't know Max took this class. Like, oh. All right, let's see. So, let's see. So then we have this thing where Terry makes up the whole he lost the disc or something. He goes over to Max and to basically
which I will say is a very lame excuse.
Yep.
I don't know. That just kind of caught. I kind of marked that down. I was like, that is a bad lie, Terry.
Now you got to admit, I wonder. I don't know how much of this was due to Bruce Timm's hesitancy or not.
Especially because Terry just puts the disc right back in his jacket. Like, what if Dana goes in his jacket later and finds the disc?
That's true. She could do that.
I'm just saying, it's a risk.
Yep.
Anyways,
I don't know how much it was due to Bruce Timm's hesitancy with the whole it was thrown out in the room. It was talked about, but it was very much Bruce Timm shot it down. Very famous of the whole what if Terry and Max got together by the end of the season as a reveal, or at the end of an episode as a reveal.
Dragon, I'm not saying Dana is as bad as Amber because she's absolutely not, but I am saying that Max is kind of like Endgame, like Eve feels like is Endgame. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyways.
Well, God. Let's see. So what was I getting? Oh, all right. Well, yeah. My point being, though, it does feel like almost like a potential breadcrumb trail here. You'd imagine Dana might suspect, man, Terry's running off with Max quite a lot.
Right, but I like that Dana kind of that never really does come up as an issue as far as I know.
Yeah, she doesn't know about Melanie. As far as she's concerned, Terry's
I like that she trusts Terry enough just on that level. And yeah, you're right. The one time that Terry did legitimately break her trust in a very bad way, she doesn't know about it, so it's fine.
But that one time, though, they were on a break.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
just Ross selling Kit Kats. We were on a break.
Give me a break, Rachel. Give me a break.
Just throws a Kit Kat in his face. There's your break.
Oh my God.
Well, at least she gave me a break.
Kogia says, if I was Dana, I would at least be curious about why Terry spends so much time with Max. Yeah. And
then Terry would say, I dye her hair.
Oh, God.
Why don't you dye my hair, Terry? Well, you like your hair, though. Anyway. Okay, so let's see. Anyway, it goes off there. Dana gets a little suspicious there. We learned there's no traces of an enemy. Terry suggests a closer look at Shimoda's books. So basically, an up close look. Now his instincts are it's an inside job. Again, good investigative instincts on Terry because again, if there are no enemies, then it's probably an inside job. So once again, up close and personal look. But just remember, he just promised Dana to get chilly with her rhinos. So the more I just say that chili thing, I keep thinking of that SpongeBob gag. The whole it's just, that's Pat. Like this, no, the guy who likes the chili. Oh, that's just Patrick.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
There's also a very famous South Park moment involving chili that I will not repeat here.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's very disturbing.
I did rewatch a South Park clip today, though, oddly enough.
What?
I did watch a South Park clip today, oddly enough.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
Well, I've seen it before. It was a clip of it, but, anyway. So, Max has him covered excuse-wise. Dana appears. And says, let me guess, he was summoned by Mr. Wayne again.
Yep.
But Dana, she's not mad. Like, Max is like, wait, you're not mad? Like, says, no, it's just, she's sympathetic towards Terry ever since I found out what's really going on. So, admittedly, in the episode, some false tension. I don't know. How do you feel about the whole? I know it's
Well,
really
first of
going
all, I
on.
never in a million years thought that she was actually going to put the pieces together about the Batman thing. Like, that didn't even enter the equation for me.
It's the last season, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really mind it. That like I like the ultimate resolution for it, so I don't really mind teasing it that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice moment. I'm just saying, like, building it up like that.
Sure.
All right, let's see. So Ink's not doing well, needs Deanna to get more mutagen for her. That's usually the cure-all when this kind of thing happens to her. But Deanna, she's not a trained thief and or saboteur here. She's not really, she can't really do this sort of thing. But so she gets coaching from mom, little mother-daughter bonding, or just kind of daughter ink sludge kind of monster bonding. Yeah, so slyly. Now this is great on the rewatch. This is like one of the great things on the rewatch. Slyly, you can see her. You can see the wheels turning in her head. She helps Ink transfer the cred so they can get materials for the heist. Says, I just need your pin number and codes. So that's you can see she's putting it in motion. Because literally, once she gets that, that's why she does the double cross.
Yep.
She has all she needs. And it's the first, and she calls her mother to butter her up.
I do like that. Yeah, that is very manipulative on her part.
The first time you called me mother, it's great. That's what I'm saying. Deanna's got some good stuff going on.
Dragon, low key, I would not be upset if Deanna came back. Like, I know she probably won't, but I would be upset if she did.
I mean, we'll talk about it by the end of the episode. I want to get your take on what you think happened. But
okay.
Anyway, so we're back. We're at Shimoto.
Can we just acknowledge that's a stupid name for a company?
Because here's the thing, I want to call it.
Struggle every time you bring it up. You struggle to pronounce it.
It's because I want to just call it Shimamoto because that's what makes sense. It's a Japanese term. It's what you would call a company, but it's like the way it's spelled is like Shimato.
Right.
Which sounds like I'm trying to sing the opening of Laverne and Shirley. Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Incorporated.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, anyways, we're at the company. The guard. Now, this I have like a headcanon thing here. Okay, the guards that this guy has, that Winchell has, they're the exact same design as the Wayne Powers guards. Now, my headcanon is that Bruce Wayne canned these guys. And, they found new work after Derek Powers, but they kept the uniform.
I could see that.
I was saying it would make sense that, Derek Powers had, like, foot soldiers, and Bruce Wayne would not want armed guards like this, that are...
Yeah, sure. That
also
does make
shady
sense,
things, too, so... Okay.
I could totally see Bruce Wayne just not wanting, basically, stormtrooper guys.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
It's also a possibility to reuse the design, but I'd like to think it's the headcanon thing. Okay, so Batman sneaks in. Let's see, use like a little slide and use the UV vision to see. Okay, Ink was here. There was and signs of a struggle. Again, investigative stuff. Tiki, the boy has learned.
Well, yeah.
Look at him go. He's learned. So anyway, so he sees there are signs of a struggle here. He interrogates Winchell, who's basically trying to he tanked the rocket to get the insurance money.
And again, Winchell he's just such a nothing character. Like, I don't know. I realize that you need him as a plot device, but he just, I remember almost nothing about him, honestly.
Yeah, but you remember that name, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. The name is memorable. Everything else is not that memorable. And you know what's funny is that what he does is a pretty shitty thing to do, just company self-sabotage. And so I don't know, I feel like this guy should be more memorable than he is, but he just doesn't really have any screen presence to him.
I have this great interrogation line from Terry that does sound like a classic Batman line. It's kind of an honorary Great Conroy. Where's the rest of her? Out of context, a really funny line. Where's the rest of her?
Oh God.
Okay, so he summons the guards. He takes fire, smoke bomb, disappearance, bolo wraps. He's fighting the guards. Throws one guard into another. Always a good move in my book. Anyway, so threatens Batman with the particle destabilizer. You have Batman running on walls, which is always cool. And knocks him out using the camouflage mode. So Then we have the classic Batman interrogation here. Classic move, dangling him off a building.
Oh yeah, results. Oh yeah.
I want you to remember that, Tiki. Plant a flag. Batman's interrogation methods. I'm just going to say that.
Okay.
Dangling a guy off a roof. That's all you need to know. All right. So he doesn't. So again, he basically, I don't know where, but she was hurt badly, and she got away. And the payment's done. There was an e-transfer, right? So he has the account numbers. He's got the account number. He knows that Inque's hurt, and he knows usually when Inque's hurt, she gets mutagens. So mutagenics lab. It's the only way to repair herself. This is like on the way to the mutagenics lab. Max tells Terry that Dana, she's not mad because she found out his secret. Found out it's because of the job. She didn't discover his identity. Just figured that Bruce Wayne's like a father figure to him.
Yeah, and I really like this, honestly. And you know what? I kind of feel like this conversation, the one nitpick I have about it is, I feel like it's a pretty big character moment for Dana, and I think it's a shame that they kind of teased it out and then didn't actually show it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I do think it's big on Dana to admit that, and really, outside of the Batman stuff, the father figure thing is one of the big reasons why Terry sticks around. I mean, she's not wrong, honestly.
That's true, and he has that great line, maybe she's not far off.
Yeah, right.
I just keep going like, oh, that's cute. All right. So he traces Deanna's accounts to Deanna Clay's account. By the way, it's a fun fact, her last name is Clay, as a reference.
I did catch that, and that was really fun. I thought that was very clever.
Yeah. All right, so he goes to the Gotham Genetics Lab, which, by the way, I want to get your take on this too, Tiki. So this was a really interesting choice in the episode, just the fact that we did not show the break-in at all. We saw the aftermath of it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't mind it because me, Dragon. I'm not really for all the fight stuff. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought
you kind of yada past that. I'm all for it.
That's what I'm saying. I thought you might like that. Just the fact that it's kind of subversion.
That,
we just kind of see the aftermath, and it's kind of economic. And so the thing happened. Deanna stole the mutagen. We see the aftermath of the break-in. Like somehow she did it, because it's not important how she did it, but she did it. And then we have our big noir twist. Okay, Deanna. Batman arrives. Deanna's giving her the mutagen, little fighty fight going on here, and then ultimately, after some cool
stuff, I like how at first the mutagen really does like revive her very well. Like it's like Popeye spinach at first.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It would seem, because she's kind of we learn that basically the mutagen worked, but it was mixed in with something, so it starts to work. And she's like immune to like the the electricity and everything. Like she's really strong right now. That's bad. Like he's using the awesome buzzsaw feature of the belt to cut through her in pieces and everything. It's a brutal fight. Again, remember, Inque was dangerous from the get-go. She was the first real bad guy that he faced, not counting his origin bad guy.
Right.
So she's she's almost killed him. So she's ripping his wings off. She's tearing into the suit. He's in bad shape, and thank goodness. As he's being buried alive in cement and everything, and the suit's damaged.
Oh, God.
Also, just to show you how dangerous this is, like Inque in her last appearance here, in her last moment fighting Batman, she stabs him. She freaking stabs him. It's not a bloody stab, but you see her penetrate the suit with the big blade.
I mean, this is Kids WB we're talking about.
They're a bloodthirsty bunch. Those detectives. These are the guys that birthed Zaslav.
Oh, jeez.
They birthed him in blood, in Batman's blood. We made him bleed.
Dragon Zaslav is just the Antichrist that the Kids WB cult created.
Yep.
Right.
Anyway, so suddenly, as Batman's being stabbed here, it looks like it's curtains for him. Suddenly, Inque's starting to bubble and destabilize before our very eyes.
Yeah, and that leads to, it's not quite as haunting as, the Akira stuff from the Clayface episode, but man, it's up there, dude. It's up there. It is pretty fucking dramatic.
Well, it's basically the Akira version of Wizard of Oz. Like, I'm melting.
Exactly. It's very much the Wizard of Oz thing for sure.
So basically she mixed in pentarol, which basically is a solvent. So basically it was the mutagen mixed in with a solvent. So basically, as strong as it was not meant to last, and it's like mixed into her at her core. So she's basically the mutant. Essentially, she's getting killed off before our eyes here, and she's like, "Why?" Well, for money. And so here's our kind of film noir double cross here. Where,
totally.
Batman saves Deanna from her vengeful mother in her last moments here, and then as in her last moments, Inque is saying, "All I gave you," says, "You gave me." You didn't give me anything except money. What did you expect? Which is it's a noir callous line, but it's very true. It's like it's a bittersweet moment, you know.
I love it, and I think it's a great kind of like bookend line to her first appearance, where she is obviously like, financially held up, but we don't know that she's just like a psychopath when it comes to being like totally addicted to wealth.
So as ink like literally it basically evaporates before our eyes, and we see like the melting face and everything.
The face dragon, just the face appearing for just a moment.
Yeah. It's like the humanity right before she's erased from the earth.
Exactly.
So it's a great transition. So we go from the noir ending to the very eerie epilogue here. So Deanna's now rich. She's got like a big mansion, poolside, and everything. Has a butler, even no Alfred, but she's got a butler.
Right. She treats her butler like shit because like she says that'll be all, and then like literally like the butler seemingly comes back and she's like, "I said that will be all." It's like, Jesus, what a bitch.
Exactly.
I honestly caught that. I honestly kind of like made a mental note of that. Like that's not a good way to fucking treat a butler, especially in the Batman universe.
Exactly. We appreciate our butlers.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah. All right. So the Batman shows up, and this is a nice parallel here. We've had some great little references to past Batman episodes here. I mean, again, a little nod to the Akira with Fiat Clay Part 2 with the demise of Inque. More so, the whole like destabilized Inque reference to Mudslide, and this ending here very much a reference, or at least has a lot in common with "If you're so smart, why aren't you rich?" The ending of the Riddler episode, which
sure, yeah, I can see that.
Where Batman is telling Robin, like he basically gives him the rule, like how much is a good night's sleep worth is what the guy that Riddler who screwed over the Riddler is going to be thinking as the Riddler's on the loose and potentially going to come for him again. And on the and here, Inque's dead. She's been dead before, and he leaves.
Yeah,
and basically saying like she won't get away with this. And he said, well, Inque. She's been dead before, leaves, and then everywhere she looks, every shadow, every like water, she sees her mother. Now she's not feeling so hot. She's not feeling so confident.
She's not just lounging by the pool anymore.
It's as if someone's watching her. And lo and behold, we confirm, oh God, Inque did indeed survive, and she is watching her daughter. Now, Tiki, I pose to you, what the heck do you think happens?
Oh man, my theory is that Inque is planning a long con. Like I don't think she wants to make it as easy as just going in and physically attacking the daughter. I think she wants to take everything from the daughter. So that's my theory. My theory is that she's going to slowly and systematically work to strip the daughter of the riches.
That's pretty good. I don't know. I thought it would be like maybe a preying on the fear and the paranoia, but then eventually she would just she would snuff her out. As dark as it's always the question of would she kill her own daughter, but her daughter pulled a little screw job on her. So yeah, I mean I think honestly it would probably make sense. She probably used the daughter to get some mutagens, like used her wealth to get mutagens to fix herself, and then it would be like this horror show of oh God, like the police show up and like what the heck happened to her? She's in pieces.
Oh man, yeah. All right, well that about covers it, right?
Well, yeah, that's how the episode ends with Big Eye.
All right. So yeah, final thoughts, Dragon. Like I said, it's not quite up there with like some of the really, really great episodes that we got at the end of season 2. But I think this is a pretty solid, like 7.5, 8 out of 10 for me. I really did enjoy it. I think it's got some very memorable imagery. I think the side character of the daughter is really memorable. And the Dana stuff is satisfying, and it's nice to see Max again. And Bruce Wayne being gone actually makes thematic sense. So yeah, I was quite happy with this. You know, the only downside is, like I said, the corporate espionage side plot that, you know, the Winchell guy is a nothing burger of a character. But you know what? It's all good.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
You know, it was yeah. I mean, look, I really do like the Inque episodes. I mean, I don't know if I like this as much as the prior two, but it's you know, it's a solid trilogy at least. You know, it's a solid trilogy with you know, with kind of a wimpy Winchell there, but you know. But yeah, it's a solid episode. Again, it's like, for example, again, honestly, you know, they should have been like the only episode without Bruce Wayne. I already said that, but it's you know, it's a nice resolution and something that feels appropriate for the last season too. Because again, they didn't know this was going to be their last one necessarily. I mean, there was hope of a renewal, but let's just say, in kind of closing the book intentionally or no, if it's a season of endings, which ultimately it's not, but if it were, this would be a good one to have.
Sure.
All right.
Okay, so big thanks to Kogias for joining us in the comments as always, and we will see y'all next time. Dragon, take us out.
An old friend in need, an asymmetrical fate, deja vu. Can Terry steer his friend down the right path in time, or will Batman have a big time problem on his hands? Tune in next time to find out. Same animated Bat time, same animated Bat place.
On the next visit to Batcave Beyond with Big Time Venom, he's fucking Venom.